All right. How's everybody doing? Emergency live stream. Rob, Gavin, everybody. Okay. Gavin and I just did not one, not two, not three, 5 videos on Amber Heard. Because that interview just went on, and they kept releasing it in all the different parts and everything else. And we were saying, okay, whew, our back is finally to her. We can move on. We're going forward, but not everybody's ready to move on. Turns out that our other favorite liar, we'll call him the OG liar, Jussie Smollett, or Juicy, because Dave Chappelle has forever addressed him as Juicy, and I will call him Juicy probably till the end of time. Juicy saw all this attention going on with Amber Heard, and he said, "Oh, hell no. I can't have that. What is this? And she's a woman. I'm 2 steps of oppression better. I've got to come out." So we have an interview. Now, I think Gavin might have peeked at it. I don't know that Rob has seen it yet. I started to watch it and decided, no, I'm not going to watch it because I want to share in the ridiculousness of Juicy along with everybody. Said, help me out. I have the ever-present calm Rob from Law and Lumber. How you doing, Rob?
Doing quite well. Haven't seen this one yet. Kind of wondering what's it's gonna be like.
And then the illustrious Gavin. He thought he was off. He thought he had his life back. He thought he would move on. But no, we're going to keep him up late in England. How are you doing?
Yeah, why not? I'm good, thank you. It's been a long day, and I've had a 250-mile drive back from the Peak District today, so forgive me if I'm not 100% with it. But I did have a quick sneaky peek at this, but nothing extensive yet, so we'll see how we get on tonight.
See, look at this. Look at this dedication. I mean, amazing, amazing, amazing. Let me check on the microphones. Does everybody sound good in the chat? I want to make sure that the levels are somewhat equal. And I don't want to. Oh, Secret McSquirrel, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Very nice looking panel. Notice I put the beauty on the top and then I sit on the bottom. Know how to cover myself. All right, so let's go ahead. We can't waste any time. I know Rob has a heart out and he's covering the Lindbergh kidnapping and woodworking. So that's going to be fascinating. And Gavin will turn into a pumpkin. So Rob, say something. They want to make sure they hear you.
Well, I'm saying something. Can the chat hear me?
All right, there we go. Okay, so here is Juicy, and he is appearing on Sway, the illustrious journalist Sway, of whom I've never heard, but apparently he's on Sirius XM, and he was the outlet that Juicy decided to appear. And let's get going.
At a party.
Oh, okay.
Jussie Smollett celebrating his 40th birthday.
Yeah. Congrats.
Look at this
40.
guy, man. Lost
That's
a lot of
40.
weight. Man, there's so much I want to talk to you about. First and foremost, how's your spirit?
My spirit is in such the season of gratitude.
Okay.
Like my spirit is, I've never felt more clear.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt more sober. I've never felt more, I hope people don't take that out of context, but I'm sure they will.
Right.
Boy, I was already about to follow
you know
up
what
that
I'm saying?
one.
Yeah. But I've never felt healthier and more grateful and I've never felt more blessed than I feel now. So my spirit is really good. I'm still dealing with things, still, having to, I'm not shy to say that I am in therapy, as we all should be, because a lot of stuff that happened over.
Okay, I obviously I got to stop because we're doing the reaction and we're going to watch the algorithm. But also, if this is it, if this is the tone, I don't know, as it's going, if he was saying that he's in therapy, he's seeking help because he had some sort of compulsion to lie and he's getting better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Could you say, hey, get behind that?
Do you want to go first, Rob?
Yeah, sure. I mean, right off the bat, it looks like the question kind of catches him off guard. He's not sure how to answer it. There's a lot of eye flutters, a lot of movement there. He's trying to figure out how to process it. And then he starts to answer. He mumbles around and jumbles a few of he does a lot of starter sentences, kind of like what I just did, where I was answering there and then I stopped halfway through and then started a sentence again because I wasn't sure how to mentally process what response I was going to give in that moment. That's what you're seeing there. And then he starts looking up. You can call it emotional accessing or some form of accessing just to try and put himself in a frame of mind to get an answer right. I didn't really hate his answer. It was positive. It was fine. I thought some of the word choice in there was odd. I don't know. Gavin, did you catch anything?
Well, only with the body language with him. He's got his hands in front. He's kind of guarded there. I saw the blink rate going up at the beginning, showing that he's a little bit stressed and nervous. It's the start of the very beginning of the interview where, like you say, he didn't know where he was going with this just yet. So he's kind of planning it out and speaking as he's mentally processing the question. He's starting to fidget with things. He's starting to get comfortable. He's swaying around on his chair. You can see he's a little bit nervous, but you know that other than that, the language and everything seemed to be predictable.
All right.
For the last 3 years, obviously, but also just just life stuff.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to train your mind and not just train your body. To be healthy and to be beautiful. So I'm getting out of the idea of trying to convince or trying to hope that people see the truth of something.
You can convince me right now. Stop lying. Just stop lying. Oh my God, stop lying.
Oh, I know. When he was talking, did you hear that little that he made when he was talking? That's his mouth drying out.
And that line he uses was a canned line. Train your mind and not just your body. Mm-hmm. It was completely canned. It didn't really seem genuine in that moment. It was something he definitely thought of beforehand.
Oh my God.
You got to be able to train your mind and not just train your body, to be healthy and to be beautiful. So I'm getting out of the idea of trying to convince or trying to hope that people see the truth of something or something like that. And I'm going where the love is. And that's why I'm here. You won't see me everywhere. I'm not doing a lot of press, but it's like I'm going where the love is. And why shouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Why should we subject ourselves to unnecessary pain or salaciousness or whatever? It's like, that's why I come home to family.
Okay,
I'm not sure whether he's trying to convince everybody else or convince himself.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, I believe that. He's saying, oh, I'm going to go where everybody rolls out a carpet for me and they get, warm and fuzzy. Credit to Amber Heard. At least she did get challenging questions from Savannah Guthrie, more than she probably wanted. But this guy's like, I'm going to go here where I can just spout sunshine up your ass.
I mean, Gavin, what did you think about his emphasis on those words? Like when he was going, I'm trying not to convince, or give hope or that kind of stuff, like this emphatic overemphasis on certain words.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to push his narrative more so than kind of there to answer the question. The question was, how is your spirit? And he's gone completely away from the question, and he's gone towards like already battling his side of the story, getting his pieces in place on the chessboard.
Yeah, rolling out the narrative. And by the way, Rob, you mentioned a line before. I mean, he is an actor. I don't expect high levels of creativity. I expect him to parrot back scripted lines. Just saying. I mean, if you ever want to see an actor without a script, watch Alec Baldwin's Instagram sometime, and you get to see just this, meandering mess, and it's quite hilarious.
Jussie Smollett. I'm curious.
You choking up, Sway? You crying?
Yeah, I'm a little I'm wavery right now, Jussie. Tapped into a chord right there or something. But I'm always concerned. I'm always concerned with our people, and specifically, I'm always concerned with you. And I noticed this this field we work in can be heartless. It could be ruthless.
And it can be alienating.
It could be
You have all these
alienating.
people around you, but it's very, very alienating. And, you know, when something like, you know, we all know what happened. Well, we don't all know what happened, but we all know the scandal around it.
Around the court case.
Right.
No, we know what happened. we got a great idea. We know what happened. Now, Rob, I'm curious. I mean, he's been convicted. It's on appeal. Could he be adding to his legal issues right now?
I don't know, but he gives pretty significant signs of contempt when he says we don't all know what happened. Like he doesn't really agree with the conviction, which we all knew. Obviously, I don't know that he's really hurting his chances on appeal. He's maintained his innocence, albeit in the face of some pretty damning evidence. So it's his narrative.
So, Rob, are the words "beyond any reasonable doubt" still used, or has that been scrapped?
It's still beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't mean absolutely proven. What it means is that, you know, if you look at a triangle of evidence, right, at the very top, there's the weakest standard, which is preponderance, just a little bit more than not. It's 50% plus a grain of sand. And then at the very bottom, you put beyond a reasonable doubt, which basically means that it's not proven to be absolutely certain, but there's no reasonable hypothesis other than what was just proven to you. So,
okay. I'm just curious of the chances of this actually. I'm not familiar with the case, so I don't know what evidence was presented or how it all went. But yeah, I was just
the evidence. I don't have every detail of it, but let's just say they had so much evidence, including both his co-conspirators saying, yeah, here's the check, here's the directions, here's what we did, who, by the way, were not white. not MAGA, none of that. I mean, it went right down the line. I think they even had him on video, prepping different things, casing the area. I mean, it was so much evidence. And the reason why he got into the jam he did, because he actually was off the hook. The DA was like, okay, you know, and he had to give up his bail money or whatever it was. And he gave that up, and then she wasn't going to press charges. But then he goes out there and mouths off and mouths off and mouths off and mouths off. They're like, you know what? No, we are going to press charges. We're bringing in a special prosecutor because obviously the DA is tied in with Michelle Obama, who's really good friends with him and his family. So we had that whole Obama connection that was pushing it out. And he drug his ass into there. It's very similar to Amber Heard. That's why the parallels are always brought up. Amber Heard, she got a nice, healthy settlement, several $1 million. Nobody is questioning anything, even though she didn't donate to charity. It didn't really matter. She still had the money, and Johnny Depp wasn't saying anything about it. It's when she wrote the editorial. It's when she kept going. It's like, you keep digging at it. Well, that's what he did.
I mean, the other thing is when he came out and made the statement, he makes the statement to the police of what happened that night. Police come back to him, I think a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, and they say, hey, we would love to see your phone to back up some of these text messages. And he goes, absolutely not. You're not looking at my phone. No way, no how. Does that sound somewhat similar to another actress that we might have known?
Maybe. I don't know. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, here we go. That's why he can't let her out there doing something stupid. He's got to go around and do it himself.
Got you. Wow. So just like Amber Heard, just doesn't know when to shut up.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so. It sounds so odd, but Lord knows if I could go back and never go through any of this and never have my family or my close people to me ever have to experience what we've experienced. Lord knows that I would make sure that you know happened, and that we never went through what we've gone through. But there's a part of me that one of my good friends said, you know, you may think now, and he said this probably in like April of 2019, he said, you know, you may look at everything now and think that this is bad, but at the end of the day, you needed to mow your lawn so you could see all the snakes in your grass. And sometimes sometimes and again, it goes back to what I was saying when I was on the phone with y'all about family is so important to me. So
Okay, no, okay, come on. So, well, maybe I should retitle this video "Jussie Mows His Lawn."
To find the snakes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to mow it, dude. You're there. I mean, what do you mow and then uncover a mirror and look? I mean, oh my God.
I noticed at the beginning there's a lot of sentences with regret, where saying if I could go back in time and not go through any of this again. It was very nebulous with it. It wasn't very specific with what exactly he didn't want to go through, but he did say, I would go back in a heartbeat. He didn't actually finish what he was saying before he moved on to the next bit, where he kind of started yet another sentence. There's a lot of lip compression going on when he's getting to the end of his sentences, and you can see he's holding back from something that he wants to say or some more information. Maybe he's stopping and thinking, no, I don't want to go down that route. I want to think about it a bit more carefully, craft something better and go a different way. And then on the third time, that's when he comes up with that kind of sentence that he was told in April of 2019. He knew exactly when he was told it. I don't even know what I was doing last week.
But didn't you get the impression from him that when he was saying he would go back and if you could change it and avoid it, there was truth in that statement? It's just he didn't get into specifics about what he could avoid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, he put him into his own mess.
By the way, remind me if ever I have to go on this on this show to wrap up nice and warm. It looks really cold in that studio.
Okay. Oh.
I'm always looking in every space that I'm in to create that sort of same feeling that I get when I'm around my family, that safety, that unapologetic love. And sometimes it can stab you in your foot, but I'm just so I say it often and I say it a lot, and I'm just like, I think that it's better to say thank you to God, the universe, the ancestors, your friends, your family, too much than to not say it enough. So, and I know from the depths of my soul the way that God has brought me through and continues to, you know. So I'm just.
This is what you call a non sequitur from hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just invoking, I mean, he's invoking God because he's going to sing a song here. I know that if I reach out to God and the family and everything around me, that yes, it really has nothing to do with anything, but he's got a perfect captive audience.
Yeah. And can he take the stupid hat off, the fidgeting with the headphones? Like, it's not hard. Put them on top of your head. There's a design to these things for a reason. They have a band that goes over the head to keep the headphones secure where they are.
Well, the hat itself, I would argue, is a body language choice. Obviously, he's hiding under it to a degree.
Yeah.
And
somebody did say something about that at the beginning, actually. In the comments, I did spot that. And it is kind of probably very relevant.
I would think so.
Just, y'all will hear me say the words grateful a lot, and I really genuinely am.
Jussie Smollett. What's that?
I love this fake audience, y'all.
No, stop, man. Come on, man. Don't be peeling the curtain back. You're a director. This ain't nothing about the lighting and B-boy blue.
Well, you know what? That is the appropriate audience, because that's the only people that are going to applaud you in a can.
Yeah, we don't get that here, Eric. We should get applause when we've said something on your show, and we also want those little, the little cardboard microphone things that say Eric Hunley Unstructured. That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, if we get enough subscribers, then we can get Eric one of the boxes with the little buttons where you can press and give us applause.
Yeah, we'll sort of that. And as for the little cardboard thing, the collar that goes around the bottom of the mic, we'll have to ask Ziggy Creations if she can do a special one.
I've got a button.
You got a button?
Warning, bullshit.
Yeah, you might need that a lot in this show.
So I came prepared. See, I've got high dollar effects. But they do bring up a good point, folks. Please remember to subscribe. I really, really do appreciate it, and I'm trying to grow the channel. Mm-hmm. And where else are you going to see Jussie torched and evaluated for Well, I don't know why we're evaluating him in some ways. It's kind of like, well, let's see if we can find somebody who's a known liar and see what lying looks like and note it.
Peeling back the curtain.
Oh, look at that. That was an amber there. Do you see that?
Yep. Flash. Total expression change.
It's like, yep, okay. Oh, it's absolutely, I mean, beyond hilarity. And then, okay. Scene and cut.
Imagine, as I try to put myself in your shoes, a couple of things. You know, you went through a lot of public ridicule. Yeah, from the same people that loved you and uplifted you are the same folks that did not believe you. You know, there were a lot of folks who just to this day does not believe your story. How do you rectify that? How did you?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a part of me that, you know, when I strip my ego, when I strip my personal emotions about it. And
all right, I figure you guys have some stuff here.
Go for it, Rob.
The answer, at least, I don't reconcile it. Is it honest? It's an honest take on it. He doesn't reconcile what happened with what his own version of reality is. And he's about to explain why. But there's just so much fidgeting. He's so uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, it's almost like the hat, you know, again, not only to hide him, but the hat gives him a reason to futz with his headphones. And the headphones going around, like, they'll hold in place, right? Well, he's probably ventilating because he's uncomfortable and he's getting hot and they're dropping and they're not dropping. He's got his glasses, a little nervous.
Yeah, and he got a cue from Sway too. I mean, Sway kind of does this thing where he goes like, "All right, here we're gonna go. We're gonna re-navigate the question. You're not gonna like the series of questions," and that's when he does this.
Yeah, and Sandra, I agree. Pulling down the headphones to protect from the question. It is a way to protect the sensitive area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you can see he's not comfortable, but again, might not necessarily be deception at every point, but he's definitely not comfortable at this point, and he's doing a lot of fidgeting. He's twiddling with the wire of the headphone when he's not adjusting them, and there's a lot of nerves going on. So let's see where his answer goes, and let's see what the words are.
Yes, sir.
In my personal situation, the way that it was served to everybody, I absolutely understand why people felt betrayed, you know? And I put that in my song, Thank You, God, where I was just like, I really overstand the reason why y'all felt betrayed. They had my own people, thoughts going off the wall. That's right, from LD to Don, I still got love for y'all. Because
he literally is doing an Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
She understands how the jury would feel because everybody said that about her, and everybody said, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, is that not quite literally the same damn thing?
Pretty much a parallel. You can pause it perfect with the lip compression as well there, which seems to be an ongoing thing for him when he's speaking and is holding back on some of his words too.
Well, he screws up a word. He doesn't say understand. He says overstand. Yeah.
I wondered if that was deliberate. I couldn't quite. I wasn't sure whether that was a deliberate kind of word he was using. I'm not sure.
Or if he was choosing a different word and then cut it off halfway through.
Possibly, yeah. I'll have to go back and watch that at some point and just see if I can figure out what was going on there.
And somebody pointed out, this might be a good one to do on Taylor Lorenz. I don't know. I'll have to look and see if there's any long form coverage that would be of interest to do. It's hard to find the right things. All right, but back to our boy of the hour.
Whatever they thought, and whatever the way that it was served, but that is also, I didn't know what was happening then. I didn't know how bad it was getting. And I also didn't think, for whatever reason, I genuinely thought that people were going to be like, there's no way that he did some bullshit like that. You know, I'm just like, y'all know me, like y'all know that. And I'm thinking, oh, well, people's history should mean something. So and it's very interesting when someone lies on you over and over, and then they pull, and you know what is the lie, but then you're forced to acknowledge the truths around the matter as well. And
Yeah, you know what the lie is?
And that's really painful as well, because it's easy to just be like, that's a bullshit lie. I ain't do no fucking hoax. Fuck that. But then at the same time, then they bring out drug stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, I did do that. You're like, ooh, I did do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you're sitting there, you're like, but this doesn't have anything to do with what y'all are saying that I did do that I didn't do.
Okay, I don't remember anything about drugs. Honestly,
no, they testified. The Nigerians testified that they would do weed together, and that he would.
Okay,
that was it. But it's, I mean, you guys are seeing kind of a masterclass in deflection and not answering a question straightly. He has not answered a single question, but has carried on conversation to convince his two interviewers that he's furthering the discussion.
Yeah, he's done a good job of being evasive with every answer so far. The usual lip compressions I'm spotting, and even little tongue just coming out. His pitch has changed 2 or 3 times, gone a little bit higher, and he's also sped up with some of his answers as well. So and there's a hell of a lot of clunky speech in there, where he's starting sentences, starting explanations, and then moving on to something else.
And then when he does the y'all know me, he does the hands.
Yeah,
like,
well,
y'all know me. Y'all know me. Come in. You believe me. Believe me. Believe me. It's a selling gesture.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I don't hold anybody. That's not entirely true.
Okay.
I do hold some people accountable for the things that they said, for the things that they did, for the ways that they reacted, because half of those people should have picked up the fucking phone and called me because they had my number, you know, and they didn't. But I also understand that we sometimes operate off of fear, and that when you're kind of, you know, the whole mission is to alienate you so that you are so just like vibrating in the wrong way, and like all the shit around you is just wrong, that people just have to step back. But I don't mind. I don't hold the people to anything that stepped back. I hold the people that went out there and said shit. I hold them to something. And
okay,
what the hell is he saying? What the hell is he saying?
It's just circular conversation.
No, but I mean, the only thing I could pick up on that was that when he says we, he's not talking about a we. He's talking about a specific we. He emphasizes we. That's speaking about people in particular. There's people in his group or him himself that he's including in that, but not the we that we would understand.
They're not the royal we. We are not amused.
We are not amused. No,
definitely not. Don't know whether it's family or legal team or what it is, but you know that whole conversation started off in one direction, went full circle, and pretty much evaded the answer. Here's a quick demonstration. Eric, did you rob a bank yesterday?
Why would you ask me that?
Well,
Gavin, how long have you known me?
Gavin asked me the question. Rob, did you rob a bank yesterday? You know, it's not that what I did yesterday, but I wake up every day and I put my shoes on, and then I go and get an egg sandwich. And that egg sandwich is made by, you know, people that you know, and they make that sandwich. And when they give me that sandwich, I then go about my day. It's about the level of answer that you get.
No, he's going way off piste with this.
You're missing the class warfare aspect of it, though, Rob. And say, I make a sandwich like you might make a sandwich, and people would make sandwiches because
didn't get that one.
You really, you know, people just don't like folks like us who only eat sandwiches
from Subway that you pick up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because we're hungry and we're going to work out.
Not the people that don't know me, but the people that do know me, fuck out of here. Y'all know better than that.
Yeah.
And y'all did that. That was some PR bullshit. And you know who you are. And I will not name names, and I love everybody, but I don't like everybody.
You don't like
And
everybody.
that's just real.
Jussie Smollett. There was a few entertainers. I know Dave Chappelle with one of his specials. So it was funny to you. You didn't take it personal.
Oh no! Oh, edit. No, I mean,
Oh, don't cut away from him when he says that, you bastards.
No,
Don't
they
cut
did.
away
They did a cut. They did a cut. Then he yells out, edit. He does a big mouth block.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at my face while my face is going up in one side, showing pure contempt. Then there's an edit.
Oh, you bastards. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Come on. We got to go that again. Those son of a bitches.
Entertainers. I know Dave Chappelle with one of his specials. So it was funny to you. You didn't take it personal.
oh no! Oh, edit. No, I mean, you know, what's so funny is that my nickname growing up was Juicy.
That's it. That's what was the funny part. Jesus, I didn't know. That routine came out 2 years ago, and now I understand the funny part. Wow, there is a lot going on there. A lot going on there. And yes, that edit, very interesting. So you have an edit before the edit. You have the cutaway before that. I don't even know how long that sequence was. I wish there was a timer in the background or some sort of clock, because I have a feeling more time went by and they might have come back in with him as high level hilarity.
I need wine for this shit.
Fair play. I'm wondering if they've actually shown him the video, and if he hadn't seen the video up until that point, and they've shown it to him, and that's where they've come back after it. Do you reckon?
I'm not sure. That was just a creepy response, and I really do not. Well, we talked about his powerful laugh earlier. This was definitely not a sincere laugh. But then again, here we go. It is very, very, very confusing.
I'm like, nigga, you taking my fucking nickname. The fuck? But you know, that's a special situation. I don't know how much I should say about that. I will say this. I have seen Dave since.
Okay.
I have seen Dave since.
Okay.
And I didn't run up on no stage like that dude at the Hollywood Bowl.
You didn't do that? That wasn't you?
That wasn't Jussie.
I thought that was okay. So that was in the rumor mill. That was Jussie Smollett that did that. Tackled him. No.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
No, but I know you could imagine.
Yeah.
I know you could imagine. I know you brought it up. I know you would like to. I think I see you visualizing it.
Keep the name Juicy out your mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only reason he brings up that stupid comment is, because that wasn't even Dave Chappelle up on stage. That was Chris Rock. He puts Dave Chappelle in Chris Rock's shoes and says, "I didn't."
No. Dave Chappelle got attacked by a knife after Chris.
Oh,
Rock.
that's right. After that one, huh?
Yep.
Oh, so he's envisioning attacking Dave with a knife now. Cool.
Well, and I don't know if you saw the full thing of that, but after Dave Chappelle got attacked, Chris Rock went up there and he said, "Was that Will Smith?"
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. This is I don't need any more Amber Heards in my life.
Pretty soon Rob's gonna stop answering my texts.
I know. I hope you got a full bottle there, Rob.
Yeah, it's we put
gonna
it
need
it.
I can't read this out loud, but yes, everybody remembers him marching away.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? Look, just to be clear, I'm not saying anything about the whole Will things. I want to make that clear before you try I'm talking about the Hollywood Bowl thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, if Will got all that stuff, imagine if I ran up on the stage. They'd be
yeah.
Bruh, and you're done again.
And scene.
Damn.
Here's the cherry.
I'm like, yo. So No,
But
no.
you and Dave seen each other since.
I've seen him since, and that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, there's that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
All right, you guys
Can
get
you-
anything else out of that?
Can he press his lips together any harder?
I know. Bless him. Of course, you've got the whole thing here as well, where at the end of it all, where they said shout out to Dave Chappelle. There's no kind of yet. You know, he's a great guy. He's seen him since. That doesn't mean to say they didn't have an argument. You know, there's loads going on there. I think there's definitely a bit of bitterness still between them. But yeah, there's. I don't think he likes that situation one bit, not at all.
No, he doesn't, because I'm going to probably project on this, but he saw Dave Chappelle since. He can't do a thing about it, because in terms of the hierarchy of stardom, power, influence, Dave Chappelle can wipe the floor with him. He's not even in the same zip code as Dave Chappelle. So he can't. He's literally trapped, because the top comedian in the world, who happens to be black too, trashed everything about him. There's nothing he can do about it except pretend to laugh. And that is why he's stuck.
Yeah, he's caught. He knows it.
All right, Carly. And now I know that Carly has to be trolling. Come on, because Carly's always on there pro Amber Heard. So,
Hi, Carly. Shout out to Carly.
good to see you. Oh my God.
You should become a member.
Oh yes. No, Carly's in here a lot. She's got to be a troll. Gotta be a troll. Oh my.
Kendrick Lamar did a beautiful video with I Heart Part 5, you know, and there was an interpolation, I guess, that of a facial expression. Your face, your image seemed like it was fused in. What was your thoughts about? How did you interpret that?
I haven't seen the whole video, and that's the honest to God truth. Sometimes I don't watch things just so that I can say truthfully that I haven't seen them.
Okay.
But I certainly have. Obviously, I know about it, and I've seen it. I mean, he's brilliant. So I don't entirely know how to interpret it. I don't know how exactly to interpret it, but I think that he's a phenomenal artist. So I just, I don't really have any personal thoughts about it, as much as I think that he's a brilliant artist, and he's that's really all I can say about that.
That's all you can say about it.
There's not much there. So Rob, you sent me something. So overstand is actually an Urban Dictionary term. And you're muted.
Apparently, yeah. So to overstand is a let's see, it's a matter of context and understanding.
Okay.
It's used in pop culture or hip hop culture to portray the distinction between understanding that life is difficult and the overstanding that life is more difficult than it need be, because it is in the interest of those in power to keep things as they are.
Well, how about
Oh God, it's a woke thing. Never mind.
Oh, okay. I get it. Now I understand.
Yep.
You don't
Okay.
understand.
No, I don't overstand it. I understand what.
Yeah, I'll stick with the original.
Right. This guy, he definitely needs to learn to shut up. Again, he's been asked a simple question here, where all he had to do was turn around and say, "Haven't seen the video, got no thoughts on it." And again, he's gone through this long-winded answer that there was absolutely no need for.
Yeah, but the video is harmless to him, so he probably want to dwell on it a long time. That's a good way to eat up time on a less comfortable or a more comfortable subject. Like,
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, he's eating time. He's making the interviewer feel like he's answering the question, even though he's not going anywhere near the answer to the question. It's a bunch of words that eats up time, and the interviewer is going, "Okay, interview is going great," not getting a single answer to any of his questions.
Nothing yet. Nothing concrete.
but we're getting content. So, folks, that matters. And please subscribe if you like it.
Okay. This guy's been in training, man. Jussie
Like,
Smollett.
I'm training myself.
Yeah,
You
I
understand
see.
the emotional like discipline
that is
that
taking.
it takes to how many videos I have in my phone from February of 2019 where I'm just going off and I'm just like, this is
Pause
bullshit.
real
And y'all
quick.
know what
Sway says this guy's been in training, and looks or directly away from Jussie and the other co-host. Do you feel like Sway knows that he's not getting an answer to any of his questions?
Probably. But he's also enabling him and letting it go. It's a nice, friendly environment. It's like, take care of our buddy here. Gavin, you got anything?
Yeah, he's not trying to agitate him just yet, is he? I think he's gonna go for as long as he can, keeping it friendly, and maybe possibly push a little bit later and get a bit deeper further down the line. He's trying to make him feel comfortable, get him to lower his guard. That'd be a guess, maybe.
All right, we'll play spets. I'm going to say it's going to be softballs the whole way and warm and fuzzy and cuddly.
I reckon he's going to slowly turn the temperature up. Boiler frog.
Okay, so we got it both ways. I'm saying that it's a down mattress with the softest, fluffiest feathers ever, and you're saying that he's eventually going to do something. Well, let's see.
I'm with Eric.
Very, very slowly. You're going with Eric, are you?
Yeah, I'm with Eric. It's just context. This isn't, I mean, Sway's not, he's not going to, this isn't an interrogation. He doesn't need to get anything out of him. He just needs to eat up time and say that he had the interview. And now Sway might be internally pissed at the end of this conversation. He didn't get a single answer, but he's not going to voice it on the show.
Okay. I don't know him, so.
Why are y'all fucking falling for the banana and tailpipe in this way? I know that it's like, why now? Why is this so easy to believe? But then, of course, then you send it to your people, and they're like, "Don't put that out. Don't. You're too angry. You're too defensive. You're too this." But looking back, there's a part of me that wishes that I had done what I wanted to do of going out there. I didn't want to do an interview. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too deep, because I love and respect Robin Roberts.
You don't want to get too deep. Yeah, we've picked that up. That is true.
You know what I'm saying? But I did not want to do that interview. That interview wasn't for me. That was for my character. You know?
What do you mean?
Just meaning that.
Oh my God. Okay. That interview wasn't for me. It's for me.
That's a very, very interesting choice of words there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but especially character, because character could mean substance of a person. Character could also be a role that you're playing. Yep. Somehow I don't see much substance with the individual, so I'm going to go with the latter, in my opinion.
We should have turned this into a drinking game for every time he licks his lips like that when he's
he does a lick lip, and then instantly he doesn't just do the compression, he does, like, you see the full brow furrow. He's pissed.
And he also seems to slip in more urban and less urban. Like I don't know how hip hop he is, if he's, I'd be curious his background. I have a feeling that he probably didn't necessarily grow up in the streets.
No, so I think he was private school educated.
So here he's saying his words there were, he didn't want to do this interview. He did this interview, but it wasn't for him. It was for his character.
Correct. And that was the interview that people saw and they were like, this guy's full of shit. That came out. It was Robin Roberts. I don't know, is she Good Morning America, or she was, I think, one of the morning shows. That was a big interview that went out. And then it was Justice for Jussie. See, just like Amber, by the way, this is like the parallels. You can't help but compare them, because Amber went with all these years of goodwill. Poor Amber, poor this, poor that. Well, he's done the same thing. It was poor Jussie. I can't believe that this horrible racist attack by those Trumpers who are out at 2:00 in the morning in a negative X degrees day by the subway looking, the ones in the MAGA hat in Chicago. And you tell me who's going to, let's put it this way. If I was to be wearing a MAGA hat in the area he was in Chicago, I probably would be attacked. Now, if he said he was wearing that, I would believe in the attack a whole lot more. So
I've seen alien abduction stories that I'd probably believe a little bit more than this.
True. I won't get into the probe jokes that come to mind.
Oh God, how deep do I get? If I'm gonna get deep, I might as well get deep with my family. Yeah, I have to be very, very honest here in that I found myself, I hadn't watched the interview at all. I hadn't watched the interview at all until we were on trial.
Mhm.
And I had to watch it because they were trying to use the interview as evidence of lies or whatever. So I had to watch it. And I watched it and I was mortified.
Mhm.
I mean, I was mortified. I mean, I cringed at just every single word that I said in that interview was the truth. But there was a certain level of performative
Mhm.
nature that came from it because I didn't want to be there. And I was so angry and so offended that I had to go on national television and explain something that happened to me. And
Okay, guys.
Wow. I don't even know where to start with that one. We'll start with the basics. I mean, again, we've got we should have took a shot every time his lips went together doing that lip compression, and then we got an upward look at the glance when he's recalling and recounting. The whole body language again. He's leaning forward. He's very tight in, and just not comfortable with where he's going with it. You can see a lot of bottom teeth going on, and he's not happy at all with where this whole thing is going, even though he's carrying on down the line of answering the question. But that's without the words. I'll ping it over to you, Rob, and see what you made of it.
A lot of chin jutting. He's doing a lot of chin jutting, a lot of fighting in his language there. The choice of words is kind of odd. And then when he's doing that accessing, like he has been in previous times the interview, he'll go up one and he'll stay there and he'll answer. And he'll go up it again, and he'll stay there and they'll answer. There's nothing wrong with that. But then he goes up on this one and he goes back and forth, back and forth. And it's like you can almost see the wheels turning in his head. No, I don't like it.
and it was so political and it was all of those things. And I found myself dealing with my own internalized homophobia.
Okay.
As an openly gay Black man who leads with his Blackness, I found myself dealing with that. And I'm embarrassed and I'm a little bit ashamed to say that, meaning that I wanted to represent all of us that had been.
Okay, here we go.
So
it's not about him. It's all about all gays in the world unite behind Jussie.
Yeah.
Where the F did that come from?
It's Amber Heard.
Yeah.
It's all the victims, all the gays.
Yeah. Do you know what? We've got to the point now where he's been waffling on for that long. I actually forgot myself what the bloody question was. He's gone down the road of creating some kind of mixed up, mashed up sentence with all types of body language tells that I've lost count of. And now he's come up with this change in his whole. He seems to have gone back to his agenda of, like you said, Eric, I'm out there for all the gays who've been abused and I don't know.
He's recruiting him. You're not against him. If you attack him, you're not attacking him.
It's not even you. It's not even you. That's not even the implication. The implication was you watched that interview. That was it. It was asking for his reaction to watching his own interview. And he was saying, I had not seen it and I watched it in trial for the first time because I had to, because I was forced to, because I needed to. All these different caveats that he's throwing on the sentence. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of speaking about how he's watching the interview and how he's reacting to it, he brings up this massive narrative about, I felt bad for all of the gay community. Where the did that come from?
Yes.
Well, there was a lot of repetition in there about half a dozen times on the build up to it as well. He's saying his sentence and he said something like, I didn't watch the interview. I'd never seen it up until we were in court. And so you got this repetition happened a few times. So, but yeah, as for turning the whole narrative around to making himself out to be some kind of a hero, I'm here to save everybody and on behalf of everybody as the spokesman for everybody who's been attacked who's gay. It does run perfect parallel with Amber, and
he's wrapping himself into, in the cloak of this. And again, same situation. There are so many real victims out there. There are people who are victims of racial violence. There are people who are victims of this, and these hoaxers let's just call it, they're hoaxers going out there and doing this. They are rubbing actual victims' faces in it, and it's just disgusting.
I mean, there are victims of homophobic attacks like all over the place.
Every day.
Homophobia is a real thing.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and look at you lying and then say, well, they must all be homophobic. That is a massive disservice to the gay and lesbian community. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
And he's in there saying that he's dealing with his own homophobic issues at some point within that conversation, and which he's got to probably be the only gay that I know that is homophobic, according to what he's just said a moment ago.
Well, okay.
I'm interested to see where this goes next.
Based on who we are. But for the people that didn't have the platform that I had, I wanted to.
People didn't have the platform that I had. People that didn't have the resources that we have, Savannah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's like they don't realize that they're taking that platform and the platform that was created for something good, and they're taking this platform that took so many people to sacrifice so much to create in the first place. They jump on top of the platform. They're like, look at me, I'm the spearhead of the platform. Let me just shit all over it.
To say all of the things that people should hear from people who have been through this. But I also didn't want to be associated with people who had been attacked. I felt like somehow.
Don't worry, you aren't.
Like I want to play roles. I want to play boxer. I want to play, superheroes and all that type of shit. And then I felt like I'm genuinely sorry to say this, but this is the way that I felt. I don't feel that way anymore, but I know that that's the way that I felt. I felt like I just became a faggot that got his ass beat. So, or at least I felt like that's what people saw me as. And so I was trying so hard to like the posturing of he hit me and then I hit his ass back. And I was just like, oh my God, nigga, what are you doing? You look fucking ridiculous. But everything that I said was the honest to God truth.
Oh
no, he just said he lied. He just said he lied. One sentence earlier, he said he made it up.
And how do you like the gods to the honest to gods? That was an interesting little verbal play in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely little faux pas there. But yeah, I mean, like what Rob picked up on a minute ago, I was trying to listen in on the words as well, and obviously Rob picked up on it where he said, I made it up, and I told people what they wanted to hear and how we wanted to be seen. So,
love it. Well, at least we got semi-truth. Now the rest of the lie, you can keep going, keep finishing.
But it's just the way that it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to my people that I felt that way. But that is a part of a bigger conversation that we should probably have at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, you piece of shit.
About the internalized homophobia that we're kind of conditioned with from the moment that we get on this earth, whether you end up being gay or not. And it's something that I feel like a lot of us fight with and grapple with. And in order to explain certain things and explain certain whys, you kind of have to be fully honest with yourself about all of that. And that's just me being honest. So am I ashamed of that I felt that way? Absolutely. Do I feel like I'm better than anyone else that has been assaulted? Absolutely not. But at that time, I was just so embarrassed that it happened.
Oh my God.
Embarrassed? I've heard that word embarrassed before from someone we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times can he throw truth or honest into a sentence or a paragraph? How many times can he try to qualify what he's saying when he knows? I mean, the reason people do that in sentences is basically because they know they're telling a lie.
Yeah.
And if you catch them on a one-off where it's like, honestly, guys, blank. Okay, that's fine. When they repeat it over and over and over and over and over in a sentence or a paragraph, and they keep on doing it. And then when they say the magical words of, I'm sorry that you thought that I felt that way. That's not an apology. You're not it's a non-apology apology. It's I am me. I don't own this, and I'm telling you I don't own this, and I'm sorry that you have to recognize and call me out for not owning this, but I'm still not going to own this.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Rob.
Oh, Eric, if you lived closer to me, I'd throw something at you.
So, I mean, I got to admit, the guy would be better just coming out and turning around and saying, "Do you know what? I wanted to make a statement. I felt sorry for all the people who were getting attacked out there in the world, and I wanted to put myself in the limelight and be the spokesperson for all of you to try and open this subject up to the world." That would be better, and turn around and say, "So I set something up, it backfired on me. I went to prison for 6.5 days and paid the price." But look, it's got me here talking about it now, and it's got it out in the open. It was worth it. That would what he'd be better doing. Just like Amber, with a lot of the things she's said and done, she won't even hold her hand up to the things she did do. She says, "I didn't know the difference between right and wrong." Some people.
Or you could always just say, "I wanted a raise in a race war."
Yeah, anything.
And then that would be pretty good.
but hey ho.
That's they found the materials where he had like mailed a threat to himself to. Or something. I forget. He's got a whole laundry list of. Oh my God.
Did not want anybody. So that's why when people were just like, "Oh, he did this so that he could get attention," I'm just like, first of all, I've never been a person that looked for attention. But if I was, like, I'm an actor, a director, a writer, a creator.
He was on Mighty Ducks in 92.
Oh, wait, hang on. I've never been a person that looked for attention. Let me list my resume off. A, B, C, D, E. Never want attention within a split second, but here's my resume. Boom, 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 boom. Give me attention.
Yeah. We've discussed before about unnecessary negatives, and I know I've brought them up with you before, but he's done a fair few of these throughout this entire video. One or two I've kind of written off and dismissed, but again, nobody at any point even implied that he wanted attention. Nobody thought about it. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody brought it up. So up until him saying that he's not the kind of person that would do anything for attention, nobody kind of had that in mind. So this is what I've said to you before in statement analysis. We call an unnecessary negative. No need for it.
Back, motherfuckers. If I were to do something, it would not be to look like a victim. It would be to look like, if anything, someone strong. And I found myself being like, "Yo, but I'm strong, but I fought back," and all of that type of stuff. And it was like, it actually doesn't make you more or less of a human being.
Yeah.
By the way, did anybody notice when he said, "Makes me look strong" with the floppy hat? Sagging. I'm sorry. Oh God.
Regardless of what happened. And so we just didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was coming. We didn't know who was going to lie. There was just nothing to point us to that until it happened. And we were just dumbfounded. And looking back, there were so many things that we could have done to intercept it, but we just didn't know what was coming.
All right, that is a fucking lie. I'm sorry, but you're telling me that you go to a criminal trial where the state has every single obligation to disclose the names of the witnesses, the summary of their statements, every piece of evidence they intend to use against you. He had every ounce of that information. He had multiple witness statements. He knew what they were going to say. He knew from his own bank records and access to his bank records that he personally had signed this check. Also, the prosecutor gave it to him and said, "We're going to introduce this to you." He had every bit of video footage that was introduced. Every single thing is a necessary disclosure that the state has to make before trial. So what he is just saying right now is a bold-faced lie.
Yep. And there's another lip compression just there. So that's another shot of whiskey I'd have been taking.
And good old Carly here. I agree it should be illegal to diagnose others with mental illness over the internet. We are not doing that. No. We are calling him a liar. And guess what? He was convicted of a hoax. So we have the court decision backing us up on calling him a liar. We're also calling Amber Heard a liar, who a unanimous jury found her to have lied. So we are reflecting what has already been decided in court. So, Rob, you're the lawyer. I think we're pretty much on safe grounds here, right?
Oh yeah, he's a convicted liar. Worse, I mean, he's convicted for lying for personal gain.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we're gonna move on, but you said something really interesting, because I used to get on the radio. I had to tell you, I was perplexed of why so much attention is being paid. I minimize it to this actor,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You're more than that, but
Thank
why I'm just why
Is the whole world, you used to say.
I used to say the whole world is coming down on this guy, on this actor, when we got so much other things we could be concerned about.
You know what bothers me more than it's interesting. What bothers me more than
Yeah.
someone that says that motherfucker guilty. He's a liar. He did this. What bothers me more than that, those people are irrelevant to me at this point.
Mhm.
Fuck them. They're gonna believe what they're gonna believe. What bothers me more are the people that are saying that will say something like, well, even if he did do it, X, Y, Z. I think what you have to realize is that for someone like me that represented my entire career, but more importantly, my entire life, along with my family, represented social justice, represented equity and equality and all of these types of things. And we're fighters, and we fight with love so deeply. And this is what we preach because it's what we believe. It's like finding out that someone is exactly the opposite of who they claim to be.
He's definitely got a grandiose view of himself, hasn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he's also got just a complete legal fallacy at the top of his head. Like, he talks about people that don't believe him. The entire world, because you were convicted, like literally criminally convicted beyond a reasonable doubt that this occurred. So stop looking at like everyone is in your camp. That's what he's looking at. The people that, the people that believe me, and then the people that, like, even if they don't believe me, but they say yada yada, like, stop. You're not a martyr.
Oh my
Sorry.
God. No. Well, I mean, his cases, the amount of evidence was so undeniable. I mean, it's not like it's not even a he said, she said. It's a he said, they said, the cops, the police, everybody. But no, just like Amber.
Yeah.
And again, very vague, no specifics. There's no. He's not saying anything along the lines of, you know what, I got beaten down an alley and left for dead. And nobody believed what happened. He's talking about events. He's talking about just really vague and with his whole kind of description of everything that's going on. Not buying any of it so far.
Someone in the chat take a look at his fist right now.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
He is starting to get a little getting ready. He's going to scrap.
He's going to take his hat off in a minute.
Woo!
Mhm.
And so if I had done this, I'd be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed. You are.
And I don't think that is that's not really questionable.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when people are like, yes, there's a lot of other stuff happening, but that would be really, and again, it's something that I wanted to say, if I had done something like this, it would mean that I stuck my fist in the pain of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years. We're not even talking about in Africa, because that's an even deeper, larger conversation. It would mean that I stuck my fist in the fears of the LGBTQ community all over the world.
Mhm.
I'm not that motherfucker. Never have been. Don't need to be. Didn't need to have some sort of rise in his career. I was on the up and up. I was coming from New York.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't, buddy. No, you weren't. You were trying to get a raise. The show was a little teetery. No.
You could actually go back through this video and you could delete certain words like if, and you'd be left with the rest of the sentence, I had done this. And if you took away all the insignificant words, you would have him turning around saying things like, I have done this. This is, I stuck my fist in the pain of he's literally confessing in the video. So
You mean like OJ, the If I Did It book?
yeah, exactly.
And Georgina, didn't they have him caught on tape? They did have him recorded doing certain things. I don't remember all the specific details, but yes, they had a lot on him. And thank you, Georgina, very much.
And welcome, KTB, new member.
Yes, for sure. You got anything, Rob, or more word salad?
Salad.
From doing a table read for my dream role in a Broadway show. I had just optioned the rights to the autobiography, the authorized autobiography of Alvin Ailey. I had just all of these things that I was creating. There would be no reason for me to do some dumb, corny shit like that. But people are going to believe what they believe.
Not that there was no reason. There would be no reason. It's an interesting word choice, right?
And there was a reason. If you're just coming out, because notice he says he just did this. He just did this. He was just coming out with this. Maybe if you're in the front of the media spotlight, the things you just did might get attention.
But he's not after attention, remember?
No, because he's an author, he's a director, he's a writer, he's a
and what I have to do is I have to keep working.
You have to keep working,
and what I know for sure is every single thing that I auditioned for during that period, I lost. They took it from me. But every single thing that I created myself is being created. Never again will anybody be able to pull my life from under me like a rug.
There you go. Jussie Smollett. Come on, man.
Onward.
And so right now
I agree with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, got the whole thing again where it took him so long to come up with his kind of, I don't even know what it was. I forgot what the question was that was asked of him. Can you remember what the original question was?
I don't think there was a question. This is just a grandstand. I mean, it went way back, like, oh, what are you doing now, essentially, or some variant of that. But I don't really. He's not actually being asked a lot of questions. He just starts going, and somebody will say, praise or whatever, and go along, and he just keeps going.
Which, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. If the interviewer's not going to cut you off and the interviewer's not going to direct the conversation or call you on it, keep going. Eat that time. Good for you, buddy. That's you get your narrative, you get your time. It's an effective way of dodging.
Very.
Working so far.
You play freedom because you're free right now.
Why you say right now?
Right now. I mean, that was good because last time I saw you.
Because you have an appeal that a lot of people are hoping doesn't go in your favor. And that your ass goes right back to the jail. By the way, that was my favorite thing that happened. And I was so glad that judge did it because I did not think he was going to serve any time at all. And that judge made sure that he was taken away right then. So at least he had to spend the weekend in jail. And I will bet you that's the only time he's going to serve. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Even if it gets kicked back down on emotion on the from the appeal for a resentencing or I don't know. The judge can very easily just suspend the sentence. And at this point in time, it's better just not have him out in the public media.
Yeah. And that's why I liked it. He at least made sure that he spent at least a couple days in. Not much.
Well, you weren't. And now you are. Your stint behind bars, how did you make it through that? What was
Don't call it a stint.
saving grace?
God.
Yeah.
And my family. I fasted. I was there for 6.5 days. I fasted for 6.5 days. My lawyer, shout out to Ninye, but he was lying when he said that I was fasting for Lent. I wasn't fasting for Lent. I was fasting because that's what we do in my family. Like, we fast for clarity, I have never in my life, at least in my adult life, been as clear of mind as I was for those 6.5 days. And it was almost like when they told me that I was getting out, what I was doing is I was fasting until I found out whether or not I was going to be in there for those 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know what my life was about to look like. So I was fasting, and I had been prepping, my family, most wonderful human beings. I live and die for them.
You got an amazing family.
Oh,
Let me say that for
Okay, the whole fasting thing. I remember everything coming out. He's going to starve to death. He's on a hunger strike. Now he's like, oh, it was for my spiritual being, and I was fasting. It's like, oh, BS. He was sitting there trying to get into protective custody. Anything he could, was pulling every stunt in the world, but no, he's fasting for his clarity.
Have you ever tried fasting, Eric?
Yeah, you could tell it doesn't work well.
I did once. It was really, really difficult, but I did manage to do a whole 40 minutes. I don't think I'd like to do it again.
14 minutes. Huh?
Yep. Dear me. Again, evaded the question. How did you get through it? You just kind of started off one way, talking about fasting, and then again, same kind of thing. We're on to the next question now, which we're talking about family. So, but hey.
All right. Well, we're going to be wrapping up here in a second.
I don't know, because I can't listen to any more of the word vomit.
Okay.
For the record, you got a single question. Jussie Smollett got an amazing family. The mom, when I see the mom, I'm at attention, like waiting for my.
Let me tell you something. Mommy don't go nowhere. Mommy is a house cat, okay? But she was like, watch me stay in LA and my baby is in Chicago. Like she did not play.
Mommy. And people wonder why I think he's like a little boy. I mean, there it is. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Give up. I cannot do any more. I think that he's a useless, untalented hack. But he can talk and talk and talk. And the interviewer didn't do anything except just enable, which I'm not totally against to a degree, but there's a difference between enabling and elicitation. The interviewer is just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but it's Sway. So Sway used to be on MTV. He was always kind of the guy on the ground that would do interviews. And I didn't remember who he was till I saw his face with the beanie cap. That's it's like his look. He's not supposed to be the hard-hitting journalist. Like it was a puff piece. This was basically, hey, we're going to get you and let you talk. And he has to know who his audience is and allow Jussie to speak to them, because there's a large swath of the population that still believes that Jussie Smollett was wrongfully convicted. I don't know how large that swath of the population is, but there's people out there that he's speaking to.
Yeah, I think we have one in the chat.
Probably
it's a representative show, a representative audience. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Rob probably come out with the best observation, which was during his protesting, was very much a case of, I honest to God believe that I swear on the Bible that my mom's life, my dad's grave, just way too much of that going on, which is probably one of the most one of the biggest and most pivotal parts of all of the mess that went on in that interview, with everything from the evading of the questions, the body language, the lip compression, and everything else. There wasn't much truth being spoken throughout the entire thing.
Well, perfect. I guess I got out of it about everything that I expected going into it, but there it is. And really, it doesn't matter what Rob thinks. It doesn't matter what Gavin thinks. It definitely doesn't matter what I think, because I don't think that much. We want to know what you think. And please let us know below. If you like this kind of thing, please remember to subscribe. I have more stuff coming. I actually have an interview with a former close friend of Marilyn Manson. Got to cut that together. I have analysis from Greg Hartley, the behavior panel, that'll be coming out. Not about Amber Heard, but about Savannah Guthrie and her techniques in questioning Amber Heard. And I think that people need to really look at really an amazing woman who did a good job versus the counterpoint in that same conversation. And Gavin and I have an analysis of Evan Rachel Wood coming out. And there's much, much more to come. So please consider subscribing. and I'll see you. Maybe we'll all see you in the next video.